Hey everyone, my name's Nate, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a quick walkthrough of our open source Wire Projects API. This API provides a few basic operations for Fedwire messages like validation and JSON conversion. And Fedwire itself is a real-time gross settlement payment system in the US. It's operated by the Federal Reserve banks, and it's typically used to move around very large amounts of money. So I'm going to start by pulling and running the Wire Docker image, and I'm assuming that you have Docker set up on your system. We can go over to the project README, and this is a quick start guide for Docker. The first thing to do is pull the image, and the next thing is to run it. Alright, so it's running on port 8088, and the next thing we can do is ping that. So we can do curl localhost 8088/ping. And since we get Pong, we know that it's working properly. That's just a really quick way to make sure you did everything right. And the last thing we can do to set this up is open up a new tab in Chrome and head over to localhost 8088/files. This is a list of all the files that are currently stored on the server. It says null and we know nothing's up there right now, but as we add some files I can refresh this and they're going to appear. So the first thing that I'm going to do is demonstrate how to create a file on the server. Now that file can be plain text or JSON. For this example I'm going to be doing plain text, and we can take a look at that file right now. You can access this file and all the other examples on the sidebar yourself too by going over to the test data directory of our project. This is what the original file looks like, and we can create this one. So just type in curl. It's going to be a post. Format is data binary, and the path, since I'm already in the test data directory, is going to be @ and then the file name. So we can just copy that file name, put txt at the end, don't forget that, and then localhost port files/create. We get back some JSON output. That's our new file, and if we refresh our tab here, we're going to see that same output. So this is the JSON representation of this plain text file. And you might notice that at the very top we have a unique file ID. Basically, whenever you create a file on the server, it's going to be assigned an ID like this, and the ID is pretty important because you can use it to get the file back. So we can get it back as either JSON or plain text. We can try both of them. Let's start off with JSON. So do curl localhost 8088 files/ and then put in the unique ID. We get back the exact same JSON output. And there's many situations where you might want to get back the plain text version. So all you got to do is type in contents at the end, and that gets you back plain text. One more thing you can do quickly is replace contents with validate. Enter that in, and we see that we get no errors, meaning that the file is valid. The last thing that I'd like to demonstrate is how to replace a Fedwire message in a file that you've already created. Now I'm actually recording this part a few weeks later, so I've restarted the API. It's empty right now, and I'm going to start off by creating another file. Now what we can do is basically take this file and its ID and replace the message that's inside of it. So I have a new message.json file right here, and make sure that when you do this you don't have a file ID on this JSON file, you just want the message, because it's going to inherit the file ID that we supply. So the command is going to look pretty simple. Let's take a look at this file first. That's what it looks like originally. So the command is just curl xpost dflag and then our message file name followed by our standard localhost and then our file ID, just copy that in, and then lastly the endpoint is going to be Fedwire message. If we submit that, it's going to replace our message, and I'm going to refresh this to show you, and that is the new message. Alright, so that's all I've got for this tutorial. If you have any questions, just leave them down below in the comment section, and also feel free to join in on our Slack. We have a Wire channel where you can ask any questions about this project, and then we also have some other discussion for our other projects. So thanks for checking out this video, and we'll see you next time.